From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, comedian Jonathan Kite and spirits expert Dan Dunn. Plus, we'll take your phone calls for a spirited round of Mr. Brightside and go over the latest news. And now, like Dan, he's been drunk since Sunday, but not because the Eagles lost. It's because he's an alcoholic. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get on. A Tuesday, get on Monday. Get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. We love that about you. Good to see you, Jonathan Kite.
Happy to be here.
And Chris Max Paddock.
Hey, guys.
All right. So right before the mics heated up, Jonathan said to me, how was the set at the Bourbon Room last night?
Yeah.
Which is a kind of a new venue, I guess, out here in Hollywood. It's a big upstairs, man. Guy told me it held about 250 if they packed them in, and it was packed in.
They put in some good showcases over there.
Yeah. Had Theo Vaughn was on, Doug Benson. Oh, God. I'm trying to think of the rest of the people that were on the show. But anyway, I did the show last night. So, thoughts. A couple is I forgot what a shit show Hollywood is and, like, how much I hate just being in, like, Hollywood, like the middle of Hollywood. First things first, I can't walk in Hollywood because of the Walk of Fame. Yeah. I have to stop and stare down at everything, and it's like Joseph Mueller. Who the fuck is that? You know what I mean? And why is he in front of the Capitol Records building? Like I look down. I have hypervigilance. I have to stop every 9 feet and try to figure out when this person died, or I'll see some morning show DJ who was just a local guy, and I'll go, what the fuck? He's right next to Clint Eastwood.
The placement is as important as the star.
Yes.
Like some of them are just in like a urine-soaked area that are always going to smell like a porta potty.
And a couple things. Then I got to Frank Sinatra, and I stopped, and I'm like, what building is it's right in front of a building, like right the step of a building, and I'm like, what's this building have to do with Frank Sinatra? Like I needed context. So it takes me 45 minutes to travel 75 feet because I can't stop looking down. Number one, it just hobos and urine, everywhere. But the vent. But here's what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
And you tell me if you've encountered this. There are hecklers. There's the stand-up in the back of the room, drunken guy yelling shit, heckler. That guy gets removed, usually.
Yeah.
Usually. Might take a few heckles. Or
he's already near the exit.
He's near the exit, and he's standing up, and he's yelling, and the bouncer's standing in the back of the room, and at some point he gets the tap on the shoulder. I got last night the attractive woman. It's always an attractive woman because attractive women grow up in an environment where people pretend to care and listen constantly because they're hot. But at some point they turn 40 and people care less, but they've got a lot of bad habits built up.
Like their social skills haven't changed.
From the age of 15 to the age of 39 and a half, she's been cackling on about how her cat thinks it's a person, and guys just nod because they want to fuck her. No one goes, shut up, bitch. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm going to go get a beer.
Happened to me Thursday. At a club. Swear.
So, and now you tell me protocol here.
Yeah.
There's an attractive woman, dark-haired, attractive, slender woman sitting against the edge of the stage. The Bourbon Room has a little bit of a 3-foot riser up there, and she's literally has her knees against it. She's front and center, and she's with her man, and she's not heckling. She's talking the whole time, and she's not talking to her man. She's talking to me, and so I'm like, I don't know, launch and do part of your act or part of Louis C.K.'s act or anyone's act, and I'll just do what she's doing.
So I can't fly Southwest.
I fly Southwest.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. And there's a lot of reasons why I can't fly Southwest. I'm 6'3". They got extra.
You gotta be the A boarding group.
I'm in the A boarding group. Okay, so 6'3", and
my
they got no extra.
6'3". I don't know where this is going. I don't. What is this with tall?
So I will tell you what I told her.
Yeah.
I said people have. I swear, I said people,
Thursday night.
I said people probably like let you get away with this.
Let me just interrupt for a second. The reason this is much worse.
For a second, I thought it was still the girl.
Sorry, no. This is me interrupting.
I was like, let me finish the bit. No.
Adam.
Dude yelling in the back, plenty of context.
Yeah.
Everyone can hear him up and yelling, and you can answer him.
Right.
He can yell out "you're a douchebag," and you can yell out "you're a douche nozzle."
You're playing tennis
over net.
No.
She's sitting in the front row talking the whole time. Nobody in the rest of the club, minus the front row, 5 foot back, has no fucking idea who you're talking to.
Yeah. No.
We can't hear her, and you just seem like the world's shittiest comic.
Yeah.
Dude, the people behind her can't hear her.
Right.
Oh, it's insane. And the idea is that I go, hey, because it started actually at the show where there was a group talking over to the side.
Right.
And one of the other comics had already had to talk to them about talking. And then I went on after the other comic, and then this woman front and center just started giving her opinion like it was Cliff's Notes to my set.
Right. It's not heckling.
Dude, it's a Wikipedia footnote or something. And I go and I said to her, I was like, people probably don't, I said, I told her, I go, you're a rich white woman. People probably don't tell you to shut up a lot. I'm not one of those people.
Right.
I said, listen, I'll take the comedy. I go, you just be a silent drunk. Like you do what you do best.
Right.
And then I'll do what I do best. But I had to paddleboard with her for a few.
Yes.
And it wasn't mean-spirited. It wasn't like, shut the it was just like, hey, because this is going to escalate. And by the way, I was like third on in the show, and there was like 8 comics. I'm like, if she thinks she can get away with it once, it's like an open invitation. I'm just going to keep doing it.
This is a new form of heckling. It's a narcissistic heckling. It's hecklers used to be sloppy, drunk, big dudes in the back. Now it's not even drunk. I mean, she probably had a glass of wine, but she wasn't slurry or sloppy or swearing or anything. I'm just up there going, I know women out there pretty pissed off because you guys, and she's like, we don't need to hear about whatever. And she's like, every joke, and by the way, every joke I do is offensive to women. So it's like, there's nothing, I didn't have anything in my set about, don't you just love Dalmatian puppies?
You're like, ma'am, you might want to take a lap.
Right. So she's talking the entire time.
Yeah.
And I'm like having to stop because it's essentially like having a feedback monitor that's playing another song while you're trying to do Dust in the Wind and it's playing Inagata Davida. Like I want to power through this for everyone else in this club, but I have a person literally talking to me while I'm doing my set, and she's not yelling. She's just commenting on everything.
Do you know what it's like? It's like in the movie when you're the only one who can see the ghost.
Yes.
When you have to do your thing and they're like, Mr. Carolla, and you're like, huh?
Right.
And then it's like, they can't see me.
Right.
You're being visited by a spirit.
Yes.
Who's the ghost of annoying.
Cunts gone of Christmas past.
Yeah. Of Girls Gone Wild past.
Yeah, and I'm in the back just thinking, man, Adam, his delivery
He's off his game.
Yeah.
He's stumbling and bumbling.
And in a room like that, which I've played, humble brag, and it's a deep room. There's a lot of blind spots, especially if she's exactly where I'm thinking she is.
Right up front.
Most of the people are not aware of her existence.
It's back.
It's you and her boyfriend.
And she's dressed in black, so she's physically invisible.
She looks like a crew member.
Right. And
she's like just striking the stage.
She's just talking to me the whole time. And now here's the question. Well, multiple questions. One is, she's with a dude.
Yeah.
And the dude is like good size, long-haired, kind of Nordic-y looking dude. And he's obviously with her because she's a very attractive woman. And at some point, I just say to him, you have to do something with her. She's not stopping. He's sitting, it's a packed club. His elbow is touching her shoulder, and she's just talking the entire time. I was like, you got to tell her, like, she's obviously not listening to me, and she may be buzzed, but you have to, like, sort of tell her to stop doing this. And he's like, hey, man, it's not my... He's just sitting there looking at me the whole time, and then she just keeps babbling on, and I'm, like, looking at him going, okay, so first thought, it is up to the partner. You have somebody with a problem. Maybe they've been overserved. Whoever showed up with that person needs to fucking put the elbow in the ribs and go, hey, Could we zip it? Number one. Number two, she must do this. I mean, this is a thing. Right. This is like serial rapists, serial killers. It's never just one.
Serial heckler.
Serial heckler. This has to be her thing.
But I love it's like the attitude. It's like you're at the dog park and this dog is like chewing or pissing on something, and you, not that he's the owner, we're not going there, but I'm just saying, like, it's like, hey, you brought this here, or you guys came together. There's an issue.
There's an agreement that this is your responsibility too now. Like,
well, she has obviously not signed off on zipping it, so, and I can't assuage this or urge her. There's no words. And by the way, do you want me to stop the show and have an actual conversation with this person?
No.
So, dude, and the dude's just, he's like looking at me the whole time, and I'm just going, I'm sorry, but you got to tell her this is your jurisdiction.
You said that?
Yes. Yeah. I said, look, call me old-fashioned. Maybe I am. I come from a different era. You're the dude. You must tell her to be quiet. She's not doing it on her own. And the guy's just, he didn't get angry. He didn't even react. He just kind of kept looking at me. He never looked at her. He never did a thing. So, two things. What happens when you're with this person? This wasn't their first date. They're partners.
Right.
When you get to the club and she goes, I want to sit in the front row. Doesn't the dude have to go, let's just hang back? Like the sight lines are better? Like, why are you letting this insane person who you know is going to have a glass of wine and start talking to the comedians? Why are you guys front and center? Why do you want this?
Well, also, it's like a group of friends, not just, it happens with couples, obviously, but I think it happens with a group of friends, too, where there's one person in the group who won't shut up, who's just like, done a speedball in the bathroom and needs to, share their thoughts on Bitcoin. And everybody in the group has to be like, like when it's like a group, you go, come on, calm your friend down here.
Right.
And it's like, and it feels like if it's a strength in numbers thing, I wonder if it was their first date or if it was, and he was trying to get laid that night. And he's like, if I muzzle her or if I side with the comedian, then I'm gonna have to go home with Adam, or at least go get a beer with him, because she's like,
no, it's the group. It's the theory. It's basically the bachelor party when the one douchebag you went to high school with gets super sloppy drunk, and then when the stripper's doing her dance, he gets up and he starts grabbing her ass and doing, like, that guy needs to be pulled out, sat down. She's pissed off. The bouncer guy with the boombox is pissed, standing by the door. Like, that guy needs to be contained immediately, and that's what the partners need to do with these yentas who won't. Again, it's literally it's not heckling. It's a slow motion conversation heckling that no one in the room is privy to.
I bet that's how she watches The Bachelor or Love Island, and I think
everything's interactive.
That's the thing. What I said to the woman on Thursday was, I go, sorry, maybe you weren't told. This isn't YouTube.
Right.
Is what I told her. I go, we can see you.
She probably watches The Bachelor and is like, don't get on that seaplane
Glass
with
of
him.
Chardonnay.
He was just making out with Tammy. Yeah, you don't want to go there, girl. Yeah, you're right. She's probably verbal at everything, and she just thinks she's watching it.
Yeah, which is fine. By the way, at home, we all yelled. I mean, I'm a sports guy. I'm like, what are you doing? Right. But it's like, it's like you said with the strip club or the stripper too. It's like, just let them do their job. Let us do our job.
Yeah, she was having a conversation. She was not slowing down, and her guy was doing nothing, and they were sitting front. And this is, by the way, it's epidemic proportions now, because I go to clubs all over the country and I encounter these women. They talk. They do what John Madden would do with the telestrator. Like, you're telling jokes, and they're like, I don't think so. I wouldn't. Not all women. My friends don't act that way. And it's like, this isn't a conversation.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It is weird. The fact that they need to share, and they've had just enough to drink.
Yes.
Because you're right. They're not belligerent.
No.
There's so it's like they're in that sweet spot.
And the bouncer's ears don't perk up because they can't really hear what's going on. And she's a chick, and she's not standing up and getting violent or anything. It's just fucking the act up. This is a new world order.
Yeah, and especially the larger the room, it's fucking it up for you and no one else. I mean, that's like the shittiest thing. And so, and the bouncers, by the way, most of them are by the exits. Like in that place, they're not near the front of the stage because you're actually, then it becomes a bad seat at Cirque du Soleil.
They need more commotion for them to get activated.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You should have said, get her one more drink.
That's what you have to do. Just get them.
Yeah, just keep them going.
I was in other news. I was thinking about you because I know you do such a kick-ass Donald Trump.
Oh,
and
bless you, my son.
I brought was it Karine Jean-Pierre? Was that the clip?
White House press secretary.
Oh, KJP. Yeah, and she's not that good at speaking, which is an issue because she's the spokesperson for the White House, and so she gets fucked up a lot. And she doesn't have a great command of the language, and she's in a kind of untenable position because she has to get up and lie every single day. And certain people are more skilled at that than others. Like Attorney Mark Geragos could lie for 45 minutes and never take a breath, and it's pretty seamless. And Jen Psaki was good at lying.
Great,
she had a skill,
smooth. Very smooth. Yeah.
And the problem, and it's always funny when you get bitten by your own snake here, but the problem with all the affirmative action and all the shit we're trying to do is we have the first black lesbian White House spokesperson in the United States history. And it's like, that's good, except for if she can't fly the plane, we're fucked. And this is what's happening. They're doing all these sort of affirmative action hires because they want to be on record as the most progressive, except for at a certain point, the person has to be able to do their job or it's not going to be effective. This is her on a Sunday show last Sunday.
Yeah, Jonathan Kite, MSNBC.
Meet the Press. And he's just asking her about jets shooting down a balloon over Canadian airspace. And this is a White House spokesperson answering this question.
I think I have that green blazer.
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. The NORAD is part of it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact, exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's
there's
tough.
A lot there. Yeah,
you called Canada Canada,
yeah.
but it was a part before where she couldn't form a thought. She couldn't say coalition.
Couldn't piece together.
You couldn't piece anything.
This has got to be one of the hardest. I've thought this. Party lines aside, I thought this has got to be maybe the hardest job in the world.
It's thankless
because the information keeps changing,
right?
And you are the instant mouthpiece. You are the Twitter of the White House. I mean, maybe not when Donald Trump was there, but it's like immediately something happens, you have to describe it, you have to explain it, you have to defend it. And you either have it, it's like a surgeon. Like you either can do it or you can't.
Right.
Yes.
They need to have them play the game Operation before they give them this job.
Get that funny bone out.
And they go, sorry, you're not qualified.
She is not good at this job, but it's not the Canada part. It's all the part that came before it.
Mr. Trump, would you hire her or how do you...
Let me just say this, okay? When I'm president again, which believe me, I will be, okay? You've said it. A lot of people are saying it. So many great people in Canada. Canada, I've been there many times. I love bacon. I love Canadian bacon is what we call it up there because I speak Canadian. And I will say this. I don't know that I would hire her. I think she stumbles too much. She's it sounds like she has the hiccups all the time. Believe me, I know because I've had the hiccups a lot because of Kentucky Fried Chicken, not good for the stomach, and I eat it by the bucketful.
Yeah.
I eat it by the bucketful. Okay, I'm the greatest bucket eater. Bozo had nothing on my buckets. Okay, a lot of people are saying that. I'm saying it right here.
Yeah, we like to. Who's his? Kayla McEnany.
Yeah, she was good. Some are better than others. I'm saying no. Okay, everyone thinks I'm a racist because I've been saying for a long time when you're hiring people, for lack of a better term, who are in really super important positions, You cannot factor in straight, gay, black, white, race, religion, whatever. I know you want to be the most progressive person you can be, but you end up with Pete Buttigieg, who's the transportation secretary, who doesn't know anything about transportation, but he's gay, so we'll hire him. And eventually, policy has to go down. Like, at some point, they have to do their job. Like, at some point, it's great that you have the first bi-female pilot at American Airlines, but at some point she's got to land the plane, and we're in the fucking plane. So it can't just be based on that.
Well, that's why I wonder what the audition or the hiring process is for this job. Like, what goes into it?
Well, when you here's, I think, sadly, so Biden will brag all the time, like, we have the most diverse. Oh, you can find it, Dawson. I think you have a clip where he's going like, Biden's like, we have 50% of half of 100% are all women. Like, he's constantly bragging about diversity. It's somewhere, Chris.
I think we have a video clip of it.
We had that one. Again, diversity is good, but not over performance. You need the performance. This is why everyone secretly loves sports. You don't even know why they love sports so much. It's like
I used to do a joke about that.
The Buffalo Bills, every player on their defense is black, and it's because they're the best 11 players on the defensive side of the ball on their team. That's it.
Yeah.
No one questions it. We never think about it. It's pure. It's a pure meritocracy.
Yes.
And we're now focusing on diversity so much that we're not getting the best 11 defensive players on the side of the ball, and we're playing China, and they don't give a fuck, and they'll kick our ass.
We're doing
in
it the
Super
wrong
Bowl.
way. Like, if the best press secretary was a gay person who identified as a cat, if they were the best, that's fine, as long as they're the best. But
well, they're doing it because when they rolled her out, they were like, we have the first woman of color who's, I don't know what they call her, lesbian, like woman of color, whatever. They kept fucking hammering it home. And it's like, good, but she can't do her job.
And they go through press secretaries a lot, right?
It's a stressful job.
Now you have
it's like the menudo of government positions.
Well, you're totally fucked because now you have to fire the first black lesbian press secretary.
So that's what I was thinking. I go, what's going to have to happen? And then who's going to bring in to replace her? It better be that Catwoman you just talked about.
I'm interested in her.
So is Biden going to be tasked? Like Trump, you would have got rid of this bitch years ago. Right?
Listen, I don't know how she got into the White House, okay? And I've said this. I keep up. That's why we build the wall. I build a lot of walls, a lot of places.
I know when you first walked in, you saw her and asked her to bring you a Coke, right?
I said, excuse me. I said, I want a Diet Coke because I watch my figure. I watch it grow. And make sure there's a lemon. And thank you. Put it on my tab.
So, yes. Now, if Biden is all about diversity, then good luck firing her or Pete Buttigieg because that's not going to look good. Well, that clip.
Yeah, I'm sending it to the guys right now.
I gave it to you, Chris, and you must have given it to them.
We've had it, yeah.
But they have it. They have it somewhere.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of how obsessed with that he is. But the other thing, I was watching the news this morning, and it's funny. We have Biden saying something. We have it? Or is that something else? Something similar. No, this is, I don't know. Chris has it. Check your messages. We'll play that clip for you. Then you tell me whether he's not obsessed with
more
this.
than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women. More than half the women in my cabinet, more than half the people in my cabinet, more than half the women in my administration are women.
Right. So he's thinking hard about it.
You know what's weird about this? That wasn't on repeat.
He just said it twice.
Yeah, old Joe the boomerang Biden, because he's coming back, and that's where they got that's where they got the filter. Come on, folks. Here's the deal: more than half the tables and the chairs, man. Come on, folks. He's always trying to. My thing is, he's always trying to convince you of something that may not have been brought up. You know what I mean? Where he's like, "Come on, folks. You know this. I drink water."
Yes.
Folks.
We weren't saying you weren't drinking water.
More than half the water I drink is women, man. Come on. The more than half the women I smell are women, man. Come on, folks.
All right, we got more Jonathan Kite coming. We got Dan Dunn. Dan Dunn told us in Philly after the show, was it?
Yeah, he hung out the second night. He came and watched the show and just hung out with us in the green
Those
room.
crazy stories about working with Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, he had
that
pictures
he never
to prove it.
Told
too.
us before. Crazy.
I
like
love
it was like
Hunter S.
Oh, you're
Thompson.
gonna love
he was
I
like
can't
his,
wait,
he was
dude.
like his
Can't wait.
right hand man.
Yeah.
In Aspen, was it?
Yeah, he was Hunter's guy.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. We'll do Mr. Brightside. See if we get some calls, and we'll do that right after this. All right, let me hit Simply Safe here. Property crimes like burglaries, well, they're going up. People showing up. I think they call them porch pirates. Make a second New Year's resolution this year for greater peace of mind and safety with Simply Safe. We all use Simply Safe here. Peel and stick. Batteries last up to 10 years. Very ergonomic. Named Best Home Security System of 2022. Says U.S. News and World Report, 3 years in a row, by the way. 24/7 professional monitoring costs under $1 a day, less than half the price of traditional security systems. Simply Safe, they have an app. Arm or disarm, unlock for a guest, access cameras, or adjust system settings anytime, anywhere with the Simply Safe app. Right, Dawson?
Customize the perfect system for your home in just a few minutes at simplysafe.com/Adam. Go today and claim a free indoor security camera plus 20% off your order with interactive monitoring. That's simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe. In celebration of Jim Carolla's upcoming 92nd birthday, here's a list of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Number 21. Rode a boat. Just one of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Jonathan Kite hanging out. It's got a pod out called Kite Club, wherever you find finer podcasts. That's
Premieres
where-
today.
Yeah.
Premieres today. Also going to be at the Tempe Improv. That's coming up March 9th through the 11th. And for details on live dates, you go to JonathanKiteComedy.com as well. All right, so we may do some Mr. Brightside. We'll see if our phone lines are working.
I have a question for Paul Giamatti, actually.
Well, I've been sitting here like
I
a
know.
sack of shit for 25 minutes.
So there's a commercial going around where you're Einstein. You're playing Einstein in a Verizon commercial, and a lot of people are saying like that's beneath Paul. That's beneath Paul, right?
You should see what they offered me. They offered me Cricket Wireless. And it wasn't even the phone company. They offered me to just sell crickets.
I rarely think that. You see George Clooney hawking booze or a coffee maker, Danny DeVito's doing a Subway or the Jersey Mike's commercial or something. I'm like, I get
themselves.
it. You're making money, but I agree. Seeing you as Einstein, it's off-putting.
Well, they also had me as George Washington Carver.
Oh, really?
It came off a little racist.
Wow.
But I said I invented the peanut. I love peanuts. I don't even have Verizon. I'm an AT&T guy.
Yeah, you put that
Cecily
crazy,
Strong's
put
in
that crazy wig on you. I
haven't had that much hair since I was 18.
I saw you doing. When I saw you doing the Volkswagen commercials, I was sort of like, all right, he's playing the manager of some freewheeling rock star who spends tons of money. I kind of got that, but playing Einstein,
They paid me in anytime minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You got paid in anytime minute?
I mean, I still have the roaming fees. I can't get rid of those roaming fees. And I was paid in gas. Well, I did the Volkswagen.
Really?
They didn't give me a car. They said there's a weird, obscure Petrovich gas company out in Buku. I don't even know, but it works there.
It's paid in perks.
Wow, they're not even paying you. This makes it even worse.
That's not even a phone.
It's a cardboard phone.
It is a cardboard. I go, can I keep the phone? And then I look down and I go, nah! Cardboard.
Like Cecily Strong's in this commercial.
Oh, she made millions.
And she's playing like kind of herself, just a regular
she's got her dignity.
Yeah.
She's well-dressed,
Paul
well-coiffed.
Giamatti.
You can't even see it. I'm not wearing pants in that picture.
Really?
No, not at all. I said, it's very hot up here. I'm getting a lot of crotch rot.
And then she kind of made fun of you because you ran off without your bike at the end. I mean, it's just not a good look.
I didn't know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. We think you're above this, Paul.
Well,
Yeah.
Somebody should tell my agents.
All right. Do we have any Mr. Brightsides?
We're just waiting on calls still.
We're waiting on calls.
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm actually going to be at Tempe, by the way. The date just got moved, if I may.
Oh, it did? Yeah.
Oh, please.
July 20th through the 22nd.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not hot enough in March.
Bro, I did it, dude. I did it last year, and I might as well performed on the sun.
Yes.
It was so. I mean, it was unreal. I was just making pottery outside.
Yeah.
To just kill the time. I mean, it was God. I mean, even armadillos were like, we got to get some shade.
Yes.
It was like 115, I think, last year.
Yeah, it's really. I'm always interested in, and I don't know how early man fucking made it, but how sensitive we are. Like, if you go into a room and it's 68 degrees, I can go right to bed. If it's 73 degrees, I'm up all night. I'm like, I'm burning up in here. It's like, it's 4.5 degrees.
Yeah.
Why so sensitive? You know what I mean? Like, my dog, and I'm in the foothills. It's in the 30s at night now. Getting into in the morning. It's in the 40s. My dog at night, when it's 39 degrees outside, walks right into an unheated pool, does a lap, and then just sprawls out on a lawn that's got frost on it. Doesn't give two shits about it. Why? And what other of God's creatures are this crazy sensitive that, look, when it's in the high 90s, it's hot, but you can get about. We get to 110, 111, you physically can't get out of the car in the parking lot. You can't leave your thing. Railroad tracks start buckling at like 115. Why jets can't take off?
We have changed as a people.
Yes, we got soft.
We got real soft because you think about how people used to dress back in the day. They wouldn't change their clothes very often. And they would just sweat through it. A lot of that stuff was wool.
Be hotter than shit. New York City, the guy's wearing a derby and a vest and a bow tie.
Layers.
Now it gets hot. People basically go out in their underpants.
Yeah.
At this point.
That's the freedom we have. They have hats on top of it. I'm like, you don't need a hat in this weather. It's like it's literally the stovepipe. It's collecting all the heat on your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would I would love to see a historical accurate drama when everywhere they're just sweating profusely.
Yeah, they never sweat.
Dry as a bone in those movies.
They're wearing a three-piece suit and a merkin and a top hat, and yet their brow is bone dry.
Dude, I'm thinking that every time I see a movie, like a historical drama, like I'm like, why is that person so calm and collected? They would be exhausted from the walk across the street.
I wonder if people didn't sweat as much back then because they were so much thinner. Where now everyone's carrying around an extra 30 pounds now.
Well, they stunk to high heaven.
Oh, back then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never believed that when we're in a historical drama and we're this close to one another. Speaking of Philadelphia, so I went to where they signed, I guess, the Continental Congress and did a lot of that stuff. Now that room is hot. Now,
right,
and I'm like
with air conditioning.
Yeah, and I got board shorts on, and maybe that's why they wore the short pants with the tights.
The knickers.
Yeah, just to give those calves a little breathing room.
I have another clip that's sort of race related. It's from Vice. Did a symposium. Higher the body weight, the more you sweat profusely. Ben's put on the screen. Yeah, I know. There's no doubt that there's more sweat. Well, I think it's two things. I think we are carrying around an extra 50 pounds and everyone is hydrated through the roof. They're just chugging Gatorade and chugging water all day long and Starbucks all day long. We're just drinking, fatter.
Yeah.
And we're just putting out. The average American must put out an extra 123 gallons of sweat as opposed to the guys from the 20s who were wearing the derbies and the three-piece suits.
And they weren't drinking water the way that we were.
No.
There's that great line, historical accuracy aside, Back to the Future Part 3. If you haven't seen it, you're going to love it. When he goes, I'll take a water, and he goes, you want a water? Go stick your head in the trough. And here we serve whiskey.
Right.
Because you think, like, that's what they're drinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
No one's like, oh, can I get one of these?
Right.
Whatever, this is Pure Life. Can I get a Pure, like, come on.
The clip was Vice did a symposium on race, and I think when you do a symposium on race, everyone kind of gets the drill, which is we have to just get up there and nod along with the theme, and no one can pipe up and say anything that's accurate. But one dude did.
Oh boy!
And I think he was Asian. I just heard it on the radio, but he piped up, and what I liked about it, my favorite person in the world is the woman, most of the time, the woman that just out loud says what's going on when there's no reason to say that. When the crazy doctor got pulled off the airplane a few years ago after being told.
Oh, yeah.
He's being told he's going to be removed by TSA security. Like, they literally stood over a seat for half an hour and said, if you don't get up and walk off of this plane, we're going to have to physically remove you. There was a half hour of that. At some point, he kept telling them to fuck off. At some point, they went, all right, and they grabbed him, and a woman from the back of the plane yelled, what's going on? It's like,
even in that scenario,
really? You don't know?
He had the audience behind. Can't hear the speech going on.
Here. I think women just yell that. So there's a guy, and it's a symposium of black and brown and Asian.
This is a Vice debate. It's on YouTube. Asian Americans debate model, minority, and Asian hate.
And some guy popped up with a little bit of the truth, and it didn't go over well.
Very real. Getting murdered for being Asian is as hateful as it gets, is it not? Why are we afraid to just say out loud, let's stop Asian hate? It is happening in astronomical numbers. Studies have shown the increase. And where did it come from? Right after the COVID blast of people saying, it's the Chinese virus. There was a direct correlation to that Asian hate. It didn't come out of thin air. So it really minimizes our experiences when you say it doesn't exist.
Here's a radical idea. Okay, you guys ready?
No, I'm not.
So there's a lot of violence happening.
No
a lot of
ready.
it's against Asian people. A lot of it is happening in cities. Crazy idea, I know. Then maybe it's not a good idea to let criminals out of jail. Maybe it's not a good idea to defund the police, neuter the police ability to have any degree of law and order in our streets. And maybe you wouldn't have so much violence happening against so many different types of vulnerable people. I mean, this is just the truth of the situation. You know, we can talk about this correlation with COVID. Maybe that's true to an extent. It's also true that
maybe that's true to an extent. What do you mean?
All right, hold on. I'm not planning on watching the entire symposium, Chris.
I'm sorry, I'm not the one.
But we had a clip that we worked out for you a couple days ago that I was pretty specific about.
I know that. I could tell already, like, when this guy piped up, they already hate him, right? Like, they're like, I actually have something to say. Oh, yeah, all right, here we go.
He's the Asian with the pomade and the suit from the 60s.
He's on Shapiro.
And I was just going to say, that's 100% what I was thinking. I was like, the moment he's like, yeah, sort of spoke up, I was like, oh no, this guy he's like a
Asian Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
You know, it's always a weird thing that I wasn't planning on talking about. Shapiro is a very Jewish name, but I've always said it sounds Asian. You know, you hear about Goldbergs and Feigenbaums and shit like that. And then there's Shapiro. It's like, Jew, we learned that. Shapiro sounds like a Japanese beer.
Shapiro.
Yeah. Shapiro doesn't. Yeah. If this guy was named Hiro Shapiro, which, by the way,
great name.
Ben, I know you got one on the way.
Yeah. You heard it here first.
You go Hiro Shapiro.
Let the Adam Carolla Show name your children.
Oh, my God. But if this guy was named Mitsu Shapiro, you go Asian. Like, Asian, Shapiro sounds Asian. Now, I don't know where this clip went, because this thing's like 43 minutes, Chris, so we're going to have to whittle it down.
I do like that suit he's wearing.
But didn't we pull it?
Oh,
no.
I guess not.
We just pulled the entire thing, not the part I specifically talked about? No?
I'm guessing.
Nope.
Okay. Well, we should have done that. right, well, now you guys are going to have to scrub through it and find the part where he's explaining about out of wedlock childbirth and stuff like that.
But outraged women who just go, what is happening?
That's the part.
The chaos, right?
That's the part I'm looking for. Ben will find it. Ben, why not get the clip I was asking for, though? No?
Well, he's looking for it now.
He's looking for it now. All right, Chris.
He's wired in.
Monitor him, would you please? Because there's only about a 2-minute clip, but I think it's a part where he's explaining about families staying together out of wedlock, babies, and how that may change the game a little in the education department. And everyone's just like, what the fuck? And it's like, well, you've decided to have a symposium on race. And they do all this shit all the time. It's like, can we have an honest conversation? Yes. But this is what it's going to sound like, and then you're not going to like it.
Well, there should be difference of opinions, which is why there's so many people there.
Right, I get it, but it's like...
Oh, no, the fact that they're shocked by it.
Yes, why are you shocked by it? Because you're not hearing pablum that just supports your theories that are all incorrect. But, all right, I think we have it now. Same gentleman. Hiro Shapiro is going to...
And I don't think you have to be Asian or white, for that matter, to not have kids out of wedlock, not, commit crime, not cause trouble, or whatever it is. It's just a matter of, common sense. That's what makes people successful. And if that's so-called assimilation, having a nuclear family, buying a house, going to school, whatever it is, then yeah, okay, call me a pro-assimilation then.
I think there's a difference between assimilation and erasure.
Yes.
The way that you're kind of going about it seems like, okay, of course, we want to be in community with people. And I don't think there's a problem with being in community with people from different backgrounds. That's not the issue. It's also embracing the diversity that we inherently have and accepting that and being okay with that and celebrating that.
That's very idealistic, I think, but I think we should acknowledge the fact that diversity, quote unquote, is not a factor that is our strength. It's not a factor that historically or even in the current strengthens societies. People don't come together, form societies, form families, form communities because they have nothing in common. They come together and do those things because they have something in common, right?
You talk about race in such black and white terms. The way you talk about it is it's either with America, whatever your definition of America, or not. You're talking in very black and white terms, and that's actually the problem.
She doesn't like it.
Yeah, well, she didn't want to get her ass kicked out in the hall when they leave, but she's the Asian chick who's got the purple hair.
She invited him, and now she's regretting it.
Right. And, all right, so first off, you guys at home can't see the look on everyone's faces when he's
shocked.
like, don't have kids out of wedlock. It's basically, here it is. Finish high school. Do not have kids until you get married. Don't have kids out of wedlock. Get a job and kick kids down the road a little till after the marriage, and then you shall be successful in this country. Whatever your breed is, whatever your heritage is, that's the recipe. The recipe is the same. I'm essentially a football coach, and I'm saying we're going to hustle, we're going to drill, we're going to do wind sprints, and then a black guy or an Asian guy or an Indian guy goes, well, how's that work for me? It works for everyone. It's the same. It's the same with the fat white kid as it is with the skinny black kid over there. We're all going to run. We're all going to do bleachers. We're all going to sweat. And that will lead to success on the gridiron. And then they go, whoa, 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 you're white. How come you're saying whatever? It's all there is. It's just sort of family and education. I went on the fucking Huffington Post. It was like 13 years ago. And I was like, family and education. That will lead to prosperity. And she was like, whoa, well, what about the school to prison pipeline? Like all this other shit. It's like, it doesn't matter if there is a school to prison pipeline. If your kid is not fist fighting in school, he has an intact family and is focused on an education, and you're involved with the kids, then we don't have to worry about the pipeline. Unless, as I told her, in fact, it's a physical pipeline that your kid could actually trip and land into. And if so, let's cut the funding for the school to prison pipeline.
But you're saying you can reroute the pipeline starting from the family.
Look, first off, the notion that this has become a controversial subject is patently insane. This just shows that there's enough fucking scared people that go along with shit that is insane that doesn't yield results. It does not, nothing comes out the other end. Like, oh, we got to get a mayor that represents us, that looks like us. Okay, go to all the cities with all the mayors that look like the representing and tell me how those fucking shitholes are doing. That's number one. Number two, there's nothing controversial about this. This is essentially diet and exercise. It's a trainer going, eat less, eat more celery, eat less donuts, and work out harder. You will lose weight. And you go, yeah, but my heritage. It's like, it doesn't matter where you're from. This will work. This will be effective. Now, this guy steps in the lion's den. Hero Shapiro starts explaining what will work, and everyone is aghast. Like, by the way, we're having a symposium to figure out what would work. Like, somebody goes, how do we get from San Francisco to Tiburon? I don't know. Maybe we should build the Golden Gate Bridge. What? No! What's going on? Like, at least...
Are you crazy?
Are you crazy? Well, like, at least just go, okay, how much would that cost?
Or where are you coming from and not, like, dismiss him immediately? That it's like you have a group of people there that hopefully they have at least somewhat differentiating opinions to give sort of weight and perspective on the symposium.
Yeah, why are we having a symposium?
Right, if everyone's just going to already agree.
The same opinion. And by the way, the same opinion is the one they cram up your ass since the 5th grade and everyone's scared. If you go to that clip, I think it's about a minute before he says his controversial out of wedlock where this guy's talking.
Their faces. I could not believe what was coming out of his mouth.
Right. All right. So we'll play that. But yeah,
I was invited to that symposium.
Were you?
As Caucasian.
Oh.
Yeah. And then they wouldn't let me in.
Yeah, he went all the way there.
Did we have any white guys in that symposium? I was actually thinking about that.
No, you can't have white guys. We don't do white guys.
We don't take their opinions?
No.
We got no ideas?
No.
All right.
I mean, yeah.
Look.
Yeah, that guy.
This is
that guy was pretty white. Yeah.
Look, it's no different than homeless. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it previously housed. You can talk about having compassion and sympathy or whatever. You tell me, is it getting better or is it getting worse? That's all. Maybe we need to go a different direction here. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it works is because everyone it's basically what the Asians do, Max Zapata, traditionally.
Tell me.
Traditionally, except for Hero Shapiro over here, they shut up and they fucking go about their business.
Sure.
Because the highest earners per capita in this country are Asians. It's Asian at $100,000 a year, and then it's white at $77,000 a year, and then it's Hispanic, and then it's a black, and basically the same line goes and correlates to out of wedlock childbirth. So you can just go straight across and go, who makes the most money? And you go, Asians. Who has the least out of wedlock childbirth? Well, okay, who has the second least? And you go, okay, why? Okay, who's got their, it's a straight line between this and that. So just with that graphic alone, like what if you were just studying COVID? Wouldn't you go, well, there seems to be a pattern here that no one wants to bring up. But the Asians, the reason they're kicking our ass is because they go, look, we know this is bullshit, but and we're not going to say anything because we're kicking ass. So we'll be down with the cause, but meanwhile, we're not acting that cause out. We're fucking yelling at our kids to do homework and everyone's intact, and we're just going to go ahead and sort of climb to the top of the mountain in this country.
We're gonna stay on course.
But shut up! Don't say anything because we don't want to get fucked with. We got a plan, and
we're
the plan's
stealth fighters.
It's working pretty good.
Yeah, we're just under the radar. You can't. We don't want attention drawn to us, but
yes.
Yeah,
yes, that's how you become successful. And we're not going to break off and have marches and do all this shit. We don't have. Who is the spokesperson for Asians?
Jackie Chan.
God,
I was going to say Margaret Cho.
Both great.
You don't even have a spokesperson. You know what I mean? That's how. Who are your politicians? Who are your mayors? What major cities? At Chicago's? At LA? Like, where's your representation? Where are the mayors? Where's the Japanese governors? Where the Chinese mayors? Like, where's the police chief? That's representing. Where are they?
That's the exact question.
Well, how is the group that's least represented doing the best?
Yeah.
How is the group that's having the least marches and they don't have a Jesse Jackson or an Al Sharpton? Why are they making more than us, Jonathan?
We're already mad at you.
Yeah,
that you're
Chris.
trying to mention-
Why are you making more than us?
Oh God, they're on to me.
Yes.
Yeah. And look, we're already bummed that you guys are on to us for taking up too much space in colleges now, right? So
I thought you were going to say about the balloons.
Oh, the balloons.
Right. Who are the people that are being discriminated against on the UC campuses and Harvard and all Yale and Brown? Those are the Asians. Take to the streets. Now, do we have? It's just where I don't know. Let's hear it if we can get a little more Hero Shapiro in here.
But I guess the easiest way to make it something to talk about is the concept of the model minority myth. When you hear that word, what does it mean to you?
So the model minority myth, after World War II, they used us to separate other people of color. They used our race to say that we were the best race, that we were the model minority because we were the smartest, we got the best jobs, we did these things, and we were able to assimilate to what their idea of what they wanted. They wanted an example to use of people of color that they could then use against all the other people of color. And what they also did is they caused infighting between our communities.
All right,
so
hold
that
on.
we wouldn't look at the
This is
actual
not
problem,
Hero
which was
Shapiro
white
talking, whoever's scrubbing through
He's about to interrupt him.
I know they all look alike.
He's going to get interrupted by Hero.
Okay, here we go.
grew up wanting to be white. I fucking hate that about myself. Like, it is so embarrassing.
Okay, so statistically, it is true that Asians, right, on average, make more money, in terms of medium, make more money, better test scores, get into better colleges, all that stuff. I think the question is, why is that? And I don't know, model minority, whatever that label wants
That's
to mean.
actually a myth because we cannot be...
Well, no, listen. Well, let me finish my point. We need to observe what makes people successful and unsuccessful. And I think when you look at trends that are generally true in the Asian community, not of everyone, but are generally true, usually you have families that are sticking together. You have,
hold on. Everyone's face like, oh shit, he went there.
Yeah.
The very controversial notion of families sticking together in 2023. Everyone in that symposium's like, oh fuck.
One
here
guy
we go.
did the Home Alone face.
I saw. He literally put Aqua Velva on his face. All right, sorry.
Community, not of everyone, but are generally true. Usually, you have families that are sticking together. People are taught to work hard in school, not get into trouble. I think that translates to why Asians en masse are successful. And I don't think you have to be Asian or white for that matter to not have kids out of wedlock, not, commit crime, not cause trouble or whatever it is. It's just a matter of common sense. That's what makes people successful. And if that's so common sense.
You got to look at the faces. Shock and dismay. Yeah. Because the guy's talking about not having kids out of wedlock and studying and staying together. Well, okay, if we discriminate against Asians and we don't like Asians, then why aren't we holding them down? What's going on? Like, what kind of job are we doing in this racist country of holding back Asians? And the answer is a piss poor job because they're making more than anyone in this country. So this is really, we're jumping the shark as a nation, and these snot-nosed fucks are causing it. They are fucked up. They're going to enter, and by the way, they're entering the tech world. They're entering Wall Street. They're entering the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times. We're going to now have our opinion shaped by these fucking lying idiots who don't know anything.
Is this the only thing that they disagree with him on?
I doubt it, just because of the collective groans whenever he speaks. And for those listening, these are all people who are dressed in like t-shirts, jeans, and he's wearing a full suit.
Hero Shapiro, use his name.
Hero Shapiro's wearing a full suit. But yeah, I mean, look, you guys as a nation, the U.S., we're jumping the shark, whereas the Asians, we're eating it.
Yeah,
dude,
eating that shark. All right. They're going to disagree with everything he says.
Yeah. I was just curious what the other points were.
He's the personal trainer that's talking about diet and exercise, and they want to eat Funyuns and donuts.
Yeah.
So they're like, of course, you can work it with kids. I mean, you can go into your kitchen any morning and go, we're eating a poached egg and dry wheat toast. And they go, fuck that, we're having Lucky Charms. And once there's more of them than there is of you, But your kids are getting fatter and they're falling farther behind.
Whoa. The nerve of you even saying that my kids are getting fatter.
Jesus Christ.
Bigger.
People, now look.
Stronger.
Now what it is Hero Shapiro, most human beings do not want to sit in a group of people and have faces made on their behalf. Like, oh my God. Oh, we got one more of Hero Shapiro.
It's just his greatest hits album.
Really?
I know, jeez.
When you're having a race discussion, you can't be talking about in such lines.
Yeah.
Everything is in the gray.
The more in common that a society has with one another, the more likely they are to work together and build things in society
I hear
and
you.
not constantly be fighting each other and at odds with each other.
Did you think the Japanese internment was a good thing? Because that was a real assimilation situation. You know what I mean?
No,
Do you
I
recognize
don't.
that the term assimilation has negative history and facts associated with that word? So we do have to be careful in how we choose, because assimilation for people of color have not been good to us historically. That's factual. So let me ask you.
We're discussing the model minority myth
but
and the
Japanese
fact that
internment is a classic example of assimilating Asian Americans.
no,
So
it's
do you
not.
think
It's a
that-
classic example of internment. I mean, they intern people.
Why?
Like, it's
Why?
not-
Yes.
To
Why did they
correlate that to
Why did they intern them? Because they saw them as other. Because they saw them as dangerous.
not really. Well, yes, they saw them as dangerous because, and I don't agree with it, but left-wing president FDR at the time saw it as a national security
So
risk.
you're
or
a
whatever.
Republican, right? You're right-wing, right?
I want to make sure that we move this way to keep
Okay.
talking about it. And thank
Yeah.
you for all the passion.
Yeah.
I love how they're all dressed in different colors.
Yes.
That I love it.
They're Power Rangers, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say crayons, but yeah. They
Yeah.
look great. That's amazing.
Oh, Hero Shapiro.
Wait, you're wearing green? No.
Chris.
He's wearing green.
Sorry, he's my favorite Asian now.
Oh,
You
man.
You drop behind Yoko and Guy Aoki.
I knew I should have got a haircut.
Now you're 4.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was a far drop, bro.
I know.
Did not expect that when you came into work today.
I really didn't.
Casey, from 34 from Texas, needs a little Mr. Brightside help.
Oh.
Do we have an intro to this?
Life got you down? Can't catch a break? Thinking about ending it all? Well, don't. Let Adam turn your frown upside down. It's time for Mr. Brightside.
All right. Let's see. We'll talk to Casey, 34, Texas. Casey?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. What do we need to fix for you today?
I saw you guys this thing on Twitter, and I was like, this has got to be a joke. And I called just because we're in Dallas right now for my son's surgery that's going on tomorrow. So I figured I'd give you guys a call.
How old's your son?
He just turned 1. He turned 1 on the 12th.
Oh,
wow.
So his first birthday was Super Bowl Sunday.
Wow. 1 year old and tears his ACL already. What's
I know, right?
what's the surgery?
So it's a birth defect. It's called hyposphadia. I guess it's from things that they put in our plastic and fragrances that they've won. So it's going to take 3 surgeries to correct.
What are they working on?
It's like private area because his urethra didn't come out to the end. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the second most common birth defect, I guess.
Really? All right. Where's the urethra end? In the middle?
At the base, like
At
in
the base.
halfway, not the base, but like a little bit further up.
How does he urinate?
Through the base. There's a hole there.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, they did a whole thing about it on HBO called Not So Pretty, and it was episode 3, I believe, is what they did.
I remember seeing that in my queue, but then I remember thinking, I'd like to beat off sometime this week. So I'm going to put this on the back burner.
Keep it on the
I have
queue.
refractory period viewing, and then I have
A lot of flashbacks, yeah.
I can watch like a Russ Myers Film Festival or something like that. But the birth defects with the urethra, I have a whole category.
Yeah.
It's a refractory, World at War, you know.
Holocaust documentaries,
all quiet on the Western Front.
Hitler and aliens.
The doc on the Japanese internment camp.
Sure.
You know, it's all
The Vice video we just watched.
That's all. Oh no, that's pre.
Oh,
that's
sorry.
pre.
I don't know the schedule as well as I thought.
And he just woke up, too. I called you guys on his nap.
So
You heard us talking about him.
All right, so let's do a little bright side. First off, thank God we're living when we're living now, because if this was 100 years ago, he'd just be walking around peeing out his balls for the rest of his life. Number one.
Right.
Number two, if it's the most common or second most common birth defect, that means the surgeons have tons and tons of experience to correct this problem. So whoever you're dealing with has done 1,500 of these procedures already. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Mm-hmm. There's a specialist in Dallas, but they're the only ones in the world.
Really?
Yeah.
And the good news is he'll never remember this. Like, you get in a bad moped accident when you're 14, that shit sticks.
Yeah.
You're freaked out about mopeds.
Traumatizing.
You can't go rent a scooter when you're in Hawaii.
Can't
Like,
ride a bike.
you that's burned into your psyche. This will just be a funny Thanksgiving story.
Right. He might not even believe you.
It's his first appearance on radio right now, or on a podcast right now.
Yeah. Also,
You know what's really funny is because when I called in, you guys were talking about just like how people can't get in colleges and stuff, and it's so funny because his dad is half Japanese, half black, and so what is he going to fill out on his application when that time comes?
oh right. Oh yeah. Go black. Go black.
Yeah, right.
See
He
where the
can just
world's
choose
at.
them all. Just choose one, choose them all, whatever works.
How about that? He was born with a birth defect.
Yeah.
He's
a survivor.
What are you, Casey?
I guess they call me white, but I'm like northern. Everything that is north, by Susan. Anything that's north, like North European. But
All right.
my family's been here for a while.
But you got the half black, half Asian. Yeah. You're smart. In today's America, you would be smart just to go, I'm going to marry a black dude. I don't really care for them. I'm not sexually attracted to them, but I'm fucking doing it for the kid's future, because this kid will jump to the front of the line on every... Brad Williams always talks about it.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a dwarf Asian thing, and he just goes, she's getting into... She's going to... Her SAT scores could be 14, and not 1,400, just 14.
Right.
And they'd go like, how's your algebra score? And she'll go, I never fucking took algebra. Now out of the way.
Yeah.
And she'll go walk right onto every campus. And then once you leave the campus, you go right to every major corporation in the world. And they'll go, we need more of you. So come on down. That's the new world order.
Yep. I know he could be a pilot and have zero skills.
They literally were just doing a story on Tucker Carlson last night. I think it was American, maybe it was United Airlines. It was just like, we want to be half women and half minority in 10 years. And so they're just taking anybody with any experience or no experience into the program, which is going to be awesome.
You need to let me know who's flying the plane, like how much years experience. Not necessarily the background. I'm just saying, like, you're like, no, I was part of that freebie program. That should be a discounted flight.
Like I said,
that's how Spirit's been doing it for years.
If Karine Jean-Pierre is up there making an ass of herself on a Sunday morning show, no harm, no foul. But if she's flying the plane, we're fucked. That's where we're heading, everyone. Yeah. All right. So get that urethra fixed. And it's a common surgery.
For another 6 months.
And these guys are the best.
Right.
Right.
And the kid won't remember it, and he's already been on a podcast, and he's not even 13 months old.
Come on.
I know.
Come on.
That's true.
Goals.
That's true.
Yeah, play this for him when he's able to understand.
I had to wait till my 40s to do my first podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
We're all late bloomers here.
Yeah. All right, we got one more here. Uh-oh.
Paul from Minnesota.
Oh, well.
Paul from Minnesota.
Hello, Adam.
What's going on, Paul?
Oh, I'm in treatment again. This is number 10.
Oh,
and,
Paul the alcoholic.
Yep, that's me.
All right, let me see if I can get your backstory straight. Okay.
Is his nickname Paulcoholic?
Paulcoholic.
It is now.
All
My
right,
nephew is
Paul,
probably alcohol.
let me see if I can get your story straight. I remember talking to you years ago, right?
Yep.
You had a job in a cabinet shop, woodworker.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
you had a roommate that you didn't get along well with, and at some point, some porn was hidden out in the backyard.
That's all true, yeah.
And by the way, I talk to people all the time, and they go, I said 7:30. You're not listening. You're not like you said that yesterday. I'm pulling up shit from 7 years ago
phone call.
about this guy. Stop fucking tell. Every woman I've ever been with is like, there's no fucking way you said extra cheese on that In-N-Out burger. It's like, I definitely said that. You don't know what you say. You don't listen. You know the number one problem that everyone has with me? Every chick I've ever known, you never listen. You don't listen. It's like, here's the problem. I listen too good. I got a fucking flight deck recorder for a fucking brain, and I know everything, and that's why you're getting fucked up right now. I do listen. You should hope I don't listen.
You sound like a mentalist, by the way. Like you're just reading this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like that was impressive.
Yeah, to Jonathan, he's like, how are you doing?
Well, I was like, dude, what? And you're like, there was porn. Am I right? I'm feeling there was porn in the room. I was like, whoa, this is unbelievable.
You had a roommate who you battled with, yes? Yes?
Yeah, he was renting a room from me.
And they had issues with him, and somehow the porn got into the backyard, possibly buried in the backyard. What happened?
That was my neighbor was hiding it there from his mom or whatever, but he was like 50 years old. I've actually, like a week ago, I was in detox with the guy. I haven't seen him for years.
You've been in and out of rehab, and you worked in I was going to say wood shop, but like a cabinet shop.
Yeah, I've done everything from, the P-Lam commercial stuff to custom homes and all kinds of stuff.
You do paralams?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Do what?
You do paralam work? And glue lam work? Do you make paralams or glue lams, or you hang them?
No, we laminate stuff and make like reception desks, things like that.
You lay up like I don't know, Formica. Oh, really?
Yep.
You good at your job?
Oh yeah, I'm really good at it.
You want me to quiz you?
Sure.
All right, so you're laying up Formica?
Yep.
What kind of adhesive do you use?
We usually rely on red contact adhesive.
Contact? Okay.
Yep. I like to use natural, though.
Is that a 3M? Is that a 3M product?
What's that?
Is that a 3M product?
No.
And what do you use to trim the extra laminate off?
Usually a nipple bit and a small little 3rd horsepower router.
Was it like a trimmer router with a bearing?
Yeah. No bearings. Bearings get plugged up with the glue and seize up and burn your product.
The game has passed me by.
Whoa.
I spent many an hour trying to scrub the fucking bearing on a trimmer because it got the glue caught up into it, and then it gets bumpy. You're sitting there with lacquer thinner and a rag.
I feel like we're at an infomercial right now.
Yeah, so far, Paul checks out.
Yeah.
Do you file your edges when you're done?
A little bit, but I use a bit after. Sometimes I use one with a bearing on it because there's not as much glue called a no file.
Use a
and it'll get it real close, and you can just kind of take a file, run by real quick, and get all the anything off it.
Do you do a chamfer bit on it?
Like a bit.
What's the difference between a dado and a rabbit?
A dado would be like a U, a rabbit would be like an L.
I thought you were going to say a rabbit was a vibrator.
What is another name? What is another name for?
Also accepted.
What's another name for biscuit joiner?
We call them lamello machines.
Oh, that's what makes them.
A plate joiner.
Oh, this guy knows everything.
Wow.
You better get sober, buddy, because there's a cabinet shop that needs you, man.
Yeah.
This guy knows.
That was a job interview.
Yeah,
I've been doing cabinets for so long that my psychiatrist recommended that I don't do that anymore.
How many?
I go back to work, I start drinking again.
What size millimeter bit do you use to drill out a pocket for a Euro hinge, a self-closing hinge?
35 millimeters.
Okay, this guy.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.
But look, did you hear? His psychiatrist told him to retire. He's basically Tom Brady right now. Just that's all.
I believe his psychiatrist told him to go back to drinking.
The Euro hinges have a 35 millimeter hole that they snap into. It's not even, inch and 3/8 or whatever. It's 35 millimeter. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I know.
Well, the double holes take an 8 millimeter.
Oh, see, he's talking about the two on the outside that snap in with the.
Take the 8 millimeter.
And what's the name of the machine you snap the hinges in with? The manufacturer?
Well, we use Bloom.
All right, he knows everything. This guy knows everything. He knows everything.
Yeah.
All right. Listen.
This is a shame that
Paul,
he's out of the game right now, or what?
We are outsourcing all this fucking cabinetry to the Philippines, to China, to Vietnam, because Americans with a skill like you can't keep off the sauce. I'm not saying do it for you or do it for your kids. I'm saying do it for America. Do you understand me? I'm tired of opening another cabinet. No, this is from Vietnam. What's that?
I always make sure there's American flag in the shop so I can tell my apprentices when they screw up that, hey, we're doing American made here. You better get your shit together.
All right. So, look, I cannot heal you of your alcoholism, but I can bestow an award of American craftsman upon you. And also...
that's quite an honor.
You shouldn't be handling a router when you're buzzed.
Yeah,
that much I can tell you. A router will fuck you up.
Yeah, now we have some advice.
We have some advice. So listen.
Well, the worst part is the shaking. That's with trying to do stuff when you're shaky.
I'm sure there are worse parts.
America needs you to get sober. Yeah. I'm not even going to put a coat of varathane lacquer on this one. I'm just going to say this country needs you. You know what this is like? Randy Quaid in Independence Day.
Yes.
Sober up, man. Have a cup of coffee and take the fucking aliens out.
Yes.
Because this country needs you. That's exactly what this is.
I feel like we are talking to Randy Quaid about his life right now. You and Randy Quaid have the same life.
I'm going to see if we can listen to this in group.
Yeah, listen to it in group. You have a skill. Look, there's a lot of musicians and fucking bands we never heard of. They OD all day long. We didn't even need them. What the fuck were they? Bar backs at a shitty bar somewhere in Hollywood. There's a lot of poets. There's a lot of artists who never make a penny. They all die of consumption, alcohol, whatever, heroin. Fine. That's Darwin taking out the garbage. But someone who has a skill, someone who can build cabinets, someone who knows the difference between a rabbit and a dado joint. Yeah. Come on.
Don't let that skill go to waste.
Yeah.
Yes.
Paul, we need you.
We need you, Paul. America needs you. We're going to make America great again. Am I right?
The second rehab I've been in where I did the cabinetry in the building.
That's right. I'm saying.
America needs you. Oh. I need you to come over and build cabinets for me made of gold. It's the Midas touch, okay? But, excuse me.
I've done copper and I've done a lot of brass laminate.
Laminate. Lay it up.
Yeah, she's solid copper.
How would...
You have to wear gloves if you touch.
Let me ask you one more question, Paul. Let's just say you had a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of MDF, medium density fiberboard, and you wanted to lay up a full sheet of Formica on top of that full sheet. How would you do it?
Well, a lot of people will put dowels down, spray both sides, put dowels down so you can line it up, but I can start in the corner and just roll it all on.
Oh, wow. Fucking pro.
By hand.
By hand. Oh, my God. So
eyeball it.
It's contact cement. If it touches, you put it all over the sheet. You put it all over the Formica. If it touches, it's welded.
Yeah.
It'll tear before you can't. So in a big sheet, you can put all these dowels down. You roll it on top. You get all lined up, and then you pull each dowel out and flatten it out.
That's what typical people would do.
This guy rolls it on top of it. Oh, my God.
He can eyeball it.
All right.
Precision.
Paul, we need you. America
He's a
needs you.
sharpshooter, yeah.
All right. I was going to wrap up the segment 20 minutes ago, but then the guy started talking about cabinetry.
I know.
Or my memory was Paul from Minnesota was a cabinet guy.
Right. And a legit cabinet guy.
And then in the very back was somebody hid porn in a yard.
Those are the same man.
That's right.
Yeah.
America
he didn't hide it in a cabinet. That was the craziest part about that story.
I know.
He didn't hide porn in a cabinet.
Thank you, Mr. Brightside.
All right, Dan Dunn is out there. He's got some drinks for us to try, and we'll talk to him, ironically, right after this. Let me tell you about Babbel. Learning a second language in high school didn't go well? Yes, that's right. Mi amo es Paco. Shut up, Carolla. D- for you. That's right. Now there's Babbel, language learning app that has sold over 10 million subscriptions. Addictively fun, and it's an easy way to learn a new language. Drew used Babbel with his wife before they went to France, and he said she improved. Her French improved dramatically. Whether you're traveling abroad, connecting with your family, or just have some free time, Babbel teaches you bite-sized 15-minute language lessons. Created by over 100 language experts, not AI. Choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German. Plus, speech recognition technology helps you improve pronunciation and accent. 20-day money-back guarantee. It's Babbel, right, Dawson?
Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Right now, save up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Adam. That's babbel.com/Adam for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Dude, I'm fucking stoked. You're coming back to West Palm Beach Improv. I saw you there the last time you were there. It was fucking epic. I yelled out fucking shitting in public when you needed suggestions. You fucking said, what is this guy, a German? I'm fucking pumped, dude. I can't wait to see you. I hope to fucking meet you. I want to buy you a drink. It's going to be fucking awesome, dude. Get it on. Let's fucking go South Florida, baby.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Maybe a couple tickets left for tonight's show, but I don't know. I think we're pretty close to sold out. Was that where we were with Mark Garagos? And he was eating the pretzel bread and
well, he was on a no carb diet.
Yeah.
And orders a pretzel and just eats the skin. I don't know.
Dan Dunn, nothing better than watching a dude who's on a strict keto diet get shit-faced and go full carb. Mark got wasted. Him and I got wasted at the show because people kept sending up tequila shots when we were doing Reasonable Doubt or whatever. And it was like, tell me, I don't know if we have any of these offerings today, but Don Julio taste, and I don't mean this in a pejorative way, more like water than it does tequila. Like there's no Don Julio, there's no other tequila where you can pour it in a tumbler and put some rocks in it and drink it like it's a Diet Coke. Like it goes down easy. It's very smooth and it's easy to get overserved with Don Julio. And that's Mark's weapon of choice. And so people kept sending up Don Julio. Yeah. And by the time we were in between the late show and the early show, Garagos was, I think he booted in the bathroom.
Yes.
Then he ordered like pretzel bread and ate the shiny brown part off with his fingernails.
It's called pretzel skins.
Yeah, he skinned the pretzel bread.
Buffalo Bill style.
Then he ate the whole thing, and then he just fucking passed out in the recliner in the green room.
And then did the other thing that drunk people do after he passes out. He disappeared.
Disappeared.
Where did Mark go? Is he?
That's right. The calling card of the drunk guy is passed out, and then you go, is he breathing? Is he okay? And then at some point, you walk into the lobby, and then you come back into the green room. It's like, where is he?
That's called pulling a Michael Myers.
Yes.
From an old horror movie. You're like, where'd that guy just go?
And I picture him staggering through traffic, like on a busy thoroughfare, like walking on the freeway. But that was Mark. Now, Dan...
It's one of the beauties of drinking is that, and I've had this happen with friends. We're like, hey, what happened to Chris? Where did he go? Well, he's really fucked up. Is he going to be okay? As long as you have enough alcohol in you, you can only care so much. Mm-hmm. You're like, all right, well, hopefully he's okay. Yeah. But I'm not leaving the bar to go find out.
Yeah. So I know you're still licking your wounds over the Philly loss.
Well,
and I'll tell you, the only thing worse than the Philly loss, big Eagles fan, is at halftime, You must have just been
It was.
riding high.
I was convinced as I can be, and I'm being from Philly. So after the Super Bowl, I actually did a little math myself.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles have been in the Super Bowl 4 times, and they've won once. That's 25%. Incredibly, the other 3 major sports teams from Philly, Flyers, Sixers, and Phillies, have each been in the championship game 8 times, and they've won twice. Both, all
25%.
It's exactly 25%. So what I've said, as a Philadelphian, I am conditioned to be disappointed 75% of the time. This was the 25% at halftime. I went, there's no way we're losing this game. You saw when he hurt his ankle at the end, and we're up 10, and we.
I saw something I hadn't seen before. You don't see often. Mahomes is on the bench on the sideline, and he's writhing in pain.
Yeah.
Like, these guys keep a pretty good poker face going. You'll see them hobble off the field, going to the tent, going to the locker room, whatever. They come back. You don't see him grimacing. Like, he was on the bench, like, oh, God, dear help. God, take me. And I was like, he's fucked up. But even if he's not fucked up, Philly's rolling. They're scoring every time they touch the ball. They got a 10-point lead, and I'm sitting around the Super Bowl party going, who's his backup? Because you got a 10-point lead, you got a great defense, and you're going to start second half with the second-string quarterback for KC. And I'm like, this shit is over. Yeah. Like I thought it was. Betting, I don't know what real-time betting was. Ben can look. But if you were going to take KC to win as a halftime bet,
it probably would have been +7. I'm guessing. At least the spread on the second half must have been.
You bet $100 and get back at least $550.
I have a theory on this, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. We know going into the Super Bowl, we find out literally the day before the Super Bowl that we're going to lose Steichen, the offensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. They announced this the day before the Super Bowl. And then there's also rumors that we're going to lose Gannon. They haven't officially said it, but reports are coming out. Why do they not wait until after the Super Bowl? Because this is my thinking. If I'm one of these young coordinators, I'm not saying they weren't into the game, but Steichen's got to be thinking, shit, I got to staff I'm the head coach now. Like at Indianapolis, I got to think about my staff, where are we moving to, where my kid's going to get. It's a fucking distraction that is thrown in, and I'm like, what's going on here? It's not as egregious as when college coaches get the job and literally leave the team for the bowl game, but like they should not be able to name the coach while he's still coaching a team that's in the Super Bowl. I feel like it's a distraction.
I don't even really get why they fire the coach game 14 when the team is 2-12. It's like he's 2-12. They're going to lose 2 more games and then fire him. Why in the body of the season?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? All right, let's just say you fire him and you win the next 2 games. Then you'll be 4-12.
Yeah.
Or 13, and you're not going to the playoffs. Number one. I felt this way when I did the car show with John Sally.
I need a drink now.
I was
like,
Eagles
talk. Damn it! I'm just like this.
I did a car show, and they were like, "We need John Sally on this car show." And I said, "I love John Sally, but I don't think he knows anything about cars." And they were like, "Well, we need John Sally on it." I said, "All right, you have me and then these other car experts on the show, but I don't think John Sally knows anything about cars." And then they're like, "We're hiring John Sally," and I was like, "All right, I don't think he knows much about cars." And then we did like 10 of 12 episodes. And they're like, we got to fire John Sally. He doesn't know anything about cars. And then I said, we have 2 more episodes to go. Why don't we just finish with John Sally? And then that'll be it for the series. And they're like, nah, we're going to get rid of him now. And then I'm like, well, now it's weird because we're out there missing the 7-foot black man. Yeah. And there's a lot of that in the world is what I'm saying. And I agree with you. They should not be making those announcements. But either way, it was a very good game. I know this kills you, Dan.
Thanks for teeing that up for me.
Welcome back, Dan.
And
then, good to be here.
Nice to meet you.
Can we talk about Hunter S. Thompson?
Sure. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. You're regaling us with stories backstage in Philly at the club at Helium, and I never really knew that side of you or that chapter in your life.
Yeah, I went to, I lived in Aspen, and I was a newspaper columnist there, and then I decided to run for mayor one day.
Mm-hmm.
Really, literally one day. I was like, needed an idea for a column. I picked up the paper. I'm flipping through the paper, and it said, you can get on the ballot. Today's the last day to get on the ballot to run for mayor. Oh, what does this take? So I went over to City Hall, and I said, what do you got to do to get on here? I thought it'd be a funny column. He said, you just got to get signatures. How many? 25. That's it. So I got a slip, and I walked around town, and I got people to sign, and next thing you know, I was on the ballot. I'm running for mayor of Aspen. I'm in my 20s, mid-20s, and this is 20-some years ago. And then Hunter called me. One day I got a call at the Aspen Daily News, and I said, call for you online too. Hey, this is Hunter. I want to meet up with you. And that was it. And I went out and met him, and we became friends, and I knew him for 10 years. And I talked to him less than 48 hours before he killed himself. I was going to Aspen. Oh, there I am. Yeah.
Was that you with the sunglasses?
With sunglasses and a cigarette. What a good look for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
With Hunter S.
Hunter S. And then he just sprayed me in the face in that picture with some spray that you're supposed to, if someone attacks you,
mace?
You can identify them. No, it wasn't mace. But it doesn't come off. It doesn't come off.
Wow.
Yeah. That was a voter registration rally. So that's the actual mayor of Aspen in between us. And there's Hunter and me.
So he's endorsing you now?
Yeah, well, they were what they wanted to do in Aspen. What they needed me for was I was a popular columnist in Aspen. They wanted to expand the airport. You've been to Aspen,
yes,
of course. So they wanted to expand the airport so that they could land bigger jets.
Yeah.
Rather than the smaller, I think DC-10s are the biggest planes they can get in there.
I don't think they make those anymore. But
whatever.
Yeah.
They couldn't get. They wanted to get 737s in there.
Yeah.
Now, great for the business community, but the people that live where the planes are going are the Don Henleys and the Don Johnsons, John Oates,
Donna
Hunter S.
Summer,
Thompson,
all the Dons.
All the famous people that live along the flight route do not want giant jets coming over their house because of the noise. So so that was in Time magazine. So there's a picture there that was taken at the Aspen airport. And by the way, I'm the only one that's still alive in that photo.
Oh, boy.
Bob Broadish just died. That's George Stranahan, Stranahan's whiskey. But he owned Champion Spark Plugs, and there's Hunter.
Oh.
So this was in Time magazine. They wrote a piece about how we were fighting the good fight against growth in Aspen. But really, it was just because a bunch of rich people didn't want loud planes coming over.
It's always the case.
But I was appealing to the younger crowd. And so we did a voter registration rally called the Great Vote Hunt, which was a play on the Great Shark Hunt. And next thing you know, Time came out and did a piece, and
Hunter,
look how famous I am now.
Why did he kill himself, and how old was he?
Well, this is the funny thing. I talked to him on a Friday night. I was going to Aspen the following Thursday, and we made plans to have dinner at this place called Butch's Lobster House in Snowmass Friday night, and we're going to have dinner the following Thursday. Sunday morning, I get a phone call from a friend of mine at the newspaper, and she had gotten word before it even got out that he had killed himself. And I just tell people, well, clearly he did not want to have dinner with me.
Yeah.
Or he contemplated the fact that he was having dinner with me, and that made him kill himself. Either way.
67 years young.
Why did he kill himself?
Did he have an illness or anything?
Yeah, he had a lot of health issues. He needed a hip replacement, knee replacement. He was feeling terrible. There are other rumors about his marriage, but I don't know.
Didn't he get a DUI and call you to bail him out or some such version of that?
No. The night we did that voter registration rally, he made me the designated driver, which I didn't agree to by any means. And we were doing mushrooms and everything else. And then after the rally, which was held at a place that was called the Double Diamond, we went to this bar called the Howling Wolf. And I'm sitting there, and I have a young lady that I met was literally sitting on my lap. And he comes up and he says, hey, get the fuck out of here. We're going to go up to Tom Benton's. Tom Benton is the artist who did the Gonzo Fist. So that's the guy who designed that. And I said, when? And he says, now, let's go. You're driving. And I said, well, I'm not driving. I can't drive. And he freaked out on me, right? Freaked out. He goes, you motherfucker. You fucking, all you do is fucking think with your dick. You fucking, fuck you. And I'm like, all right. And I'm tripping. I'm literally tripping. And I go, all right, see you later. And he left. I get home. I spent the night at this young lady's house. The next day I get home. I was living with my cousin. He said, there's a voicemail. Hunter left you a message.
Oh, boy.
So I hit the thing, and I don't have the tape anymore, which sucks. It was on an old answering machine.
Right.
But it was like, beep, 5:32 a.m. And you hear ice jingling in the glass. And he says, hey, Dan, it's Hunter. I just got out of jail. And you need to warn everybody, stay off the streets. Because he thought it was planned. Because we were trying to stop the airport from expanding. So this was payback from the local government officials who want more people to be able to get there. So, but I have to warn people at 5:30 in the morning to stay off the streets.
Did you have your bullhorn?
Yeah, and then I thought, well, I was so happy because I'm like, oh man, he didn't say anything about me being the designated driver. Didn't say anything about it. Like, so maybe he's not pissed. No, that came later. That came in person where I honestly thought he might shoot me.
Really?
He went crazy about like how I fucked him. And I would have got the DUI.
Right.
And he goes, exactly. Yeah, and I got called as a witness for his trial. I have that. I don't know if you have that photo, but I have the subpoena. It says the people versus Hunter S. Thompson. You are hereby called. I don't know what testimony I was going to give. Yes, we were completely fucked up, and he drove because I didn't want to. But I never actually got to speak at court. Yeah.
Well, let's try these libations now, Dan.
Yes. Sorry, potential spam is calling me while we're here. Should I get it? Okay, so coming up next week, we're all aware of National Margarita Day. Coming up on February 22nd.
We got every day. This is maybe speaks to a larger problem in this country, but every day is some day to make you fatter. It's like it's National Donut Day. It's National Cupcake Day. We don't have any jicama or celery day. It's all just fucking breakfast burrito day, booze day, daiquiri day. Like, if we observe all of these days, we're going to get even bigger.
We're not going to make it to the end of the calendar year.
We won't make it to December. Yeah, that's right.
Well, nobody does made up holidays quite like the booze biz.
Right.
I mean, it's everything. There's National Vodka Day. But I will say this, the margarita is far and away the most popular cocktail in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, the margarita.
Sad.
And then you know what's number 2? Anybody care to guess?
Meth.
That's right. Meth, and put it in a little water, stir it with your finger. Yeah. Then martini is number 2.
Really?
Oh. Yeah.
Martini's clawing its way back up the charts.
So the margarita is far and away. So
yeah, they got Monday. Margarita has every Monday now.
Oh yeah, Taco Tuesday. Right.
Margarita Monday.
And people drink margaritas with tacos. So it's taken over the week.
And Martini could have had Monday. They just didn't act.
No, not anymore.
Dan, in the booze department, maybe you can help me. It's a quest. I've forgotten about it. I have a few major themes in my life: red turn arrows and freeway signs and things that disgust me and never stop bothering me. I was at the Bourbon Room last night. I was standing around backstage. It was like, they got a couple more comedians. Daryl Hammond's got to go, and then Theo Von's got to go. I was like, hey, you got an hour. And the promoter, Mark, came up to me and he goes, hey, I'm doing good. And we're just kind of standing around. He said, you want a drink? I said, yeah, give me a vodka, soda, and lime. Oh, sorry. Give me vodka, soda, and lemon. I've screwed up my own story. So I go, give me vodka, soda, and lemon. He goes, comes back 10 minutes later, hands me a vodka, soda, and lime. And then I go, oh, it's vodka, soda, and lemon I ordered. And he goes, oh, yeah, oh, that's right. I didn't even know. And I just realized, and he goes, I told him lemon. It's now undoable. There's no, and I told him it was your fault, or it was my fault for not saying yellow lemon, because that's the only way I can stop this. There's something going on that they cannot provide a lemon. When you ask for a lemon, they give you a lime every single time. And I don't know if bartenders in general are just fucking getting dumber, or there's big lime is getting involved. I don't know what's going on, but you cannot get a drink with a lemon in it. They give you a lime. And Mark was like, I asked them for a lemon. I'm like, I know you did. Oh, I believe. 2 years ago, I went on, get the fuck out of here. Now I'm like, oh, you absolutely said lemon. They cannot achieve it anymore.
Yeah, like Philly, Adam has less of a 25% chance of actually getting
Way
a
less.
lemon.
Oh, we have 9 seconds of Garagos snoring in the back of of the club.
Oh yeah, he's out.
It looks like it sounds like there might be a Rottweiler at your feet.
Yeah, it was scary.
Why?
Sorry.
I brought along a little a fresh Victor lemon. Oh my God, it's lime.
Oh,
God,
no.
See, there is it. I told them lemon.
All right, tequila.
Damn it, yeah. All right, so we got some tequila. I got 3 things we're going to try today. Starting first with Milagro Silver Tequila, which is in the cup to your right here. We're going to try this. It's 100% blue agave tequila. Milagro's been around since 1998. It's one of the smoother tequilas that I think is out here. They get it from the Highland. They get their agave from the Highlands of Jalisco, which tends to yield a little bit of a sweeter agave. And as we've talked about this on the show before, I don't really like a lot of wood aging on my tequila, so I either like a Blanco or Silver or a Reposado. And we know this, Reposado is 2 months to a year in wood, but usually they'll do 6 months, 7 months. So this one, $25 a bottle, which is really good right now because I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but the price on tequila is going up, and it's going up fast because they're running out of agave. Because of something we're going to talk about a little bit later in the show when we get to it.
Milagro.
Milagro. Milagro.
Does anyone know the semi-famous movie that had that in the title?
No, I've never even heard of Milagro.
There was a movie from, I'm going to say, I was at my lowest point in life, not chilling with Hunter S., living in a fucking apartment in Van Nuys with fucking 3 dudes on a futon. Milagro Beanfield Wars.
Oh, yeah. That was
I think it was called Milagro.
From 1988, it is. The Milagro
That was about a
Beanfield
slaughter in Cambodia, right?
No.
No?
No. It's
What?
about no. It was a town of like Mexican farmers that were trying to save their bean fields.
I think you're thinking of the Killing Field.
Oh, the Killing
Think
Field.
of the Milan Massacre or something, Melee Massacre. But anyway.
So every time you sip Milagro, you can think about these people that lost their
Directed by Robert
bean fields.
It's spelled the same way?
By Robert Redford. Wow.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go.
Must be the same Milagro. Then,
I don't know that it's the same family that did this tequila. What I will tell you about this tequila that's a little different is they use 2 different kinds of stills when they do this. They have a pot still. So the first distillation they do in a pot still, which tends to leave more of the character in there, a little bit of the, some might say, unusual tastes that are left in. And then they run it through a column still, which is just which kind of smooths it out a little bit. You know, so that's why you're getting that flavor there. I really like this one for $25. I don't think you can complain about it. If you want to,
No.
It's smooth. I'm drinking it neat. And it's
can I have
great.
some of that ice? I'm going to dump it in here with this Mexican lime and agave.
What gives tequila its color?
What do you mean?
Like you have the gold, you have the silver.
Well, any spirit, every spirit that comes off of still is clear.
Okay.
Color comes from wood. When it's in the wood, it extracts the color from the wood.
So it all comes out clear.
Every distillate is clear. There's no spirit that's made.
Guess I never thought of that.
Yeah, no, everything's clear. Now there's like cheaper spirits, liqueurs and things where they add coloring agents.
Right.
But when you're talking about high-end spirits, if you're talking about tequila, any of this, when we try the Reposado next, you'll see
Johnny Walker Blue Label comes out clear.
clear, and then it spends so much time in the wood that it extracts the color from the wood. That's where that comes from.
Never thought of
I'm
that.
going to do a little bit of this fresh lip. Here you go and try some of that. Dump that in there. Up, spill it. So yeah, that's how that works. Now you'll see in the Reposado that we do next, it has a little bit of a gold hue to it. That's because of the amount of time that it's spent in the wood. If it spent 2 more years in the wood, it'd be a lot darker than that. Okay, so there we go. We got the Milagro. Next up, we got Marfanista. This is a brand new thing, and I should bring up, I'm hosting...
You guys see that movie from '89?
I don't want you to...
Called the Marfanista Beanfield Massacre.
Well, it's the sequel to Robert Redford's Gold and Milagro.
As you know, I'm involved with the Whiskey X.
That's right.
Vaguely remember that, don't you, Adam?
Wait, isn't that what you call your old whore girlfriend? bitch.
And so they just launched a thing called the Tequila X, and I believe it's next Friday, the 24th, here in Los Angeles. I am the MC of the Tequila X, and this is one of the brands that they sent me that I wanted to try. It was brand new, called Marfanista Reposado Tequila. Marfa is a town in Texas. Obviously, you can't make tequila in Texas, but it's inspired by Texas. This just launched. So let's try this.
Why can't we make tequila in Texas?
It's because it's by law it has to be made in Mexico.
Oh,
just
like
like
a regional
Scotch.
thing.
Scotch has to be made. You can make
like champagne.
Yeah.
You can make an approximation of Scotch in America. Or you can make an approximation of bourbon. Can't call it bourbon if you made it in France.
Oh,
it's
so
it's a distinct product in the United States.
Sparkling wine.
Right.
Yeah.
We
In
need
order to
some
be
version
called
of that.
tequila or mezcal legally has to be made in Mexico.
If it was made outside of Mexico, what would we call it?
Agave spirit.
Agave spirit.
No,
You know,
and people
is
do
this,
that.
is this the Mexicans enforcing this? Because I got news for them.
No.
Like every once in a while, you don't hear about it anymore, but some guy kills his family in like San Diego, and then he flees across the border and he's in Mexico, and then we want to go get him, and they go, hold on. You guys have the death penalty over there, and we don't have the death penalty here, although you could call getting the newspaper a death penalty in Mexico. But we don't do that, so we're not going to give him back. And my answer would be, fuck off, bitches. We're just going to walk over there and we'll take our fucking guy back, which is what we should have done with Roman Polanski, which is like, he's our criminal. I know he fled to your shitbox, but now we're going to come get him. And if you don't like it, good luck in the next World War. But either way, I'd say the same about tequila. We're using it. We're moving it to Texas.
If we want to make it in Arizona,
we're going to make it in Arizona. We're fucking calling it. You guys send enough fucking coyotes and illegals and fentanyl in this, and we're just going to take tequila. That'll be ours.
Let's move the lines.
Many years from now, when historians are talking and they talk about the great Mexican-American War, and they're like, well, what happened? President Carolla.
Yeah.
President Carolla started making tequila in
Austin's
Texas.
going to start shitting out great tequila. In Mexico, you want to do something? Send the federales over.
I don't know.
Have fun.
It could happen. It could happen someday where they start making it here. I don't know all the. I mean, I've got to figure the trade agreements that the U.S. has in place with Mexico is weighted heavily towards tequila, because tequila and mezcal is one of the biggest exports that Mexico has. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Now this one, again, inspired by Marfa, Texas, 100% agave tequila, 80 proof. It's a reposado. It spent 7 months in the wood. So you see the color there. You see that little gold color there? That's all wood. There's no coloring you put in there.
Is it oak, or is it, do we know what kind of
Yeah, they put it in oak. It's so generally what they'll do is they'll use old bourbon barrels, ex-bourbon barrel, because as we know, we can only use bourbon barrels once to make bourbon. And they generally end up down in Mexico, and then that's where they do with this.
Was that Gary from Minnesota? Were we talking to Paul? Oh, it's Gary. Yeah, Paul.
But
I bet he knows the difference between T&G and a shiplap joint. And a barrel joint. I bet he would know.
Let's get him on the phone.
Let's get him on the blower. Sorry.
No, let's not. We can't do this segment around him though.
7, yeah.
So I really enjoy this one. This is brand new to me, brand new to the market here in America. It is, I know you like to know what stuff costs, Ace. I told you the Milagro is $25. This is $80. Yeah, $80.
Well, I gotta say, it's a cool bottle, and it's cool color, and it's smooth, but for the price difference, I'd probably stick with the first one at $25 for now.
Yeah, well, but that's, again, this is an issue you're seeing across the board. I mean, even when you talk about Don Julio, all these, the prices are going through the roof because of, I guess we can segue in right now. The next brand we're going to try is made by a friend of yours, friend of mine, who I actually spoke to earlier today, and he had a little message. Can we play this little message he had for Ace? There you go. Let's see.
Hey, Adam, your old buddy Sammy here. It's been a while. Now, listen, we got two things to do. One of them is we got to go driving and racing, and another one is we got to do some drinking. But we don't want to do those things together. So let's do one at a time, and let me know when.
I love Sammy. I
Sammy's
love
the best.
the Red Rocker.
In an amazing coincidence, I interviewed Sammy today for my podcast, What We're Drinking with Dan Dunn. Everybody, get in there. Sammy's going to be on next week, and we talked a lot. I've known Sammy for a while too, but he's a fascinating guy because he is the person that started this thing that, frankly, I find a little bit disturbing. You can't throw a rock now without hitting a celebrity who has a tequila brand, right?
Yeah, Cranston, everybody.
Sammy was
Clooney.
the first guy, late 90s. He opened Cabo Wabo. He started getting the tequila down there. He started selling it in the bar. Next thing you know, they started importing it in around 90 up here. And it blew up. And I remember when he sold it, 2010, I guess, for $100 million.
Jeez.
And everybody thought, gee, that's the craziest thing of all time. And now it's like, that's a drop in the bucket, $100 million. I mean, I just heard that they offered The Rock $4 billion for Terramana, and he said no. $4 billion.
What?
And said no.
Jesus Christ.
He's a purist.
Sammy's a great guy.
He is a great guy.
I love
and this
Sammy.
is Santo. So he started with Cabo Wabo, and then in a couple of years ago, I guess it would have been 2017, he started Santo with Adam Levine, but then they parted ways, and Guy Fieri bought out Adam, because Guy and Sammy have been friends for a long time. And so they do this now. Santo, what we're drinking now is the one and only in the world Mezquila. It's a combination of mezcal and tequila. Sammy said he spent well over a year, and this guy walks the walk. I mean, he's not a guy that's like, you guys take care of it. I mean, he's in there doing the flavor profile, getting it right. So this is a combination of mezcal and tequila, which when I talked to him earlier today, he said, I can't tell you how hard it was to finally find the right balance, because you got the smoke of the mezcal, trying to make, and if it went one way too far in either direction, it just didn't work. And I think this really works.
Love Sammy. Love the tequila. All right, we got some news coming. We're up against it, kind of running late. So give me Sammy's tequila one more time.
We got Santo Mezquila. They also do a Blanco, a regular tequila.
What's Sammy's retail for?
$45.
Oh, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Good.
It's delicious.
All right. We love him. We'll have him back on this show. Dan, hang out, take a quick break, come back with the news right after this.
In the spirit of Murrow, Jennings, Cronkite, here's another great moment in local news.
Love is in the air this Valentine's Day. It's a day you can't forget, especially if it's your wedding anniversary. I'm Rena Nakano here in Norwalk, where hundreds of couples tied the knot in tents.
That's a great moment in local news. Now, back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Intense?
Intense.
In camping tents.
They were actually just canopies.
But it's a real who's on
that was
first.
the sell.
We're going to be on Norwalk with the old lady. It's intense.
Yeah.
Why? Therapy?
It's
No, it's
intense.
intense.
It's intense.
Getting married.
Couple. Is a counselor involved? No, it's intense. Oh, you guys arguing? No, we're in a tent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Marriage intense.
That's right. Yeah. All right. What do we got, Max Spada?
All right. So there's this video that's been going around out of Malaysia. Emergency crew had been called to this home in Malaysia where residents had reportedly been complaining about disruptive noises at night.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took the video because it was happening in the ceiling. They're like, what's going on?
Oh.
And so they see this tail, this snake tail, and they're videoing it, and this went viral on TikTok and Twitter. You guys can play it on mute. And so they're grabbing at it, like it's just like three huge snakes just fall out of the ceiling, and the internet is going nuts over this. Just saying, just burn the house.
It's a
Light the place
giant
on fire.
Oh my God! I mean, literally, the drywall gave way, and they just fell.
These are heavy ass.
Fell
snakes.
through. These look like 80-pound snakes.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Yeah, worst nightmare. Right?
Well, first off, you'd have one of those. You'd have to take one of those Silkwood rape showers after this. Like you'd have to think of all the nights you just slept in that room on a futon and went like, "What is that? Is that a squirrel? What's up there?" You know, I mean, just freaking out that there's 260 pounds of snake just like above your head while you were sleeping.
And those are the three that they caught.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, there's definitely not a mouse or rat problem there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
When I first moved here, my girlfriend at the time was living in an apartment, and she said she was having an issue with noise, like scratching.
We talking about the Whiskey X?
Yeah, the Whiskey X, scratching noise behind her wall. And then I went over there one day, and I was like, "Man, it really smells in here. What is that?" She's like, "I know, doesn't it? It's like musky. I said, no, it's not musky. It smells like death. Like there's some. So they ended up opening up the wall. Oh,
don't boot.
There was like a bunch of dead rats and live rats. There were live rats and dead rats. But I mean, when I say a bunch, I wasn't there when they did it, but everybody had to move out. Like that's how it was. Like it was infested with rats behind the wall, and she had to go to therapy because she had like PTSD because she was sleeping in there every night. She's like,
right. So
there were hundreds of rats, and a lot of them dead, and like her bed's literally next to this wall where there's hundreds, and I'm like,
burn everything you own.
When I saw that, it just brought back those memories. I was like, oh no.
So I'm saying, like, you need therapy if you slept in that house.
God. I stepped on a roach once. I remember this. I got up, and this is back in Philly, and I remember it still 30 years later, and I didn't put the light on. I went to go to the bathroom, and I was like, what was that? And it was a big, big roach. And I have never, since that day, unless I'm wasted, gotten up and go to the bathroom without putting the light on again.
I was sleeping at a girlfriend's house a million years ago. This is the girlfriend I brought Tori Amos's flowers to, who rejected them, but I was sleeping in her house, and I woke up, and there's a giant cockroach on my arm, just a giant, the ones that are orange, and just huge. And I like flicked it off, and it was kind of the middle of the night, and I like turned on the light, and it was like sitting on the carpet, and I just put like a giant book on top of it. Like I didn't want to bag it and tag it or bend it or take it outside. I just like went, fuck it. And I put like an encyclopedia on top of it. I went back to bed next morning. It's gone.
Oh,
it's
no.
gone.
It had read the book.
Yeah, it read the book.
Now it's
memorized.
now it's learned.
It knows the old man in the sea.
Dude, I was in Queens one time, and we were going to stay with my buddy's cousin. And there's, the big cockroaches can fly. And there was one in the corner, and I was like, we were like swinging at it, and this thing was like swinging back. Like it was just like, we're not, it's like, I've been here longer than you, and I'm going to be here after you.
Yeah.
And we just got into the elevator, and I'm like, that was the building manager. I don't know what that was, but it owns this building.
You're in his house.
Yeah, dude. All right, Max, what else do we got?
Right.
I wish I hadn't seen that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, a lot of people have seen it. So you're just
not since Two Girls in a Cup or whatever.
That's like a new game show, Snake House.
Yeah,
or Rat House.
Yeah, sorry about that. All right, well, good news, gentlemen. I at least for future gentlemen, penis length has grown 24% in the last 29 years.
Really?
So, yeah, dude. Yeah,
24% in 29
mine
years.
Is? Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I guess
like
not yours.
all of us?
On average.
Well,
I was like, wait, I missed that part. Shit.
Studies of men from around the world show that the length of the erect penis has grown 24% over the last 30 years.
Not in this country, though. Ours are receding. Like, this is not
But
us.
wait, is
We're
there an
getting
age?
fatter.
Is there a baseline? So in other words, my penis has not grown, well, maybe I shouldn't say that on the radio. Yes, it has.
Prove it.
My penis has not grown 24% in the last.
You got to download the update.
You're saying like a 20-year-old 25 years ago, his penis is 24% smaller than a 20-year-old now. Is that what you're saying?
I just think collectively today, maybe the average men's erect penis is 24%
Is Adam's
larger.
penis
No,
29% longer than it was?
This could be to do with global warming. And I'll tell you why. Far be it from me to steer things back to global warming, but I did talk to Dr. Drew once about like African guys, why so long, and he's like, when you live in a hot climate, your body needs to spread out.
It stretches
It
out.
just stretches out. So if you live near the equator, everyone's long and lean. If you're an Eskimo, you're short and compact. You know what I mean? It just suits the environment. Maybe with the temps going up, everyone's chode is getting longer to try to dissipate heat. We're also 24% taller. Like we're getting longer and further. And so I'd say that has to do with I use the term chode, but it's a scientific term. But
that's why I always wear corduroy, no matter the heat.
it makes your
it's making it
longer.
spread.
Right.
It's making it spread, bro. I got wool on right now. I have a space heater.
But speaking of big dicks, I watched that Pamela Anderson documentary, and so many years ago, a friend of mine was the executive producer on Rockstar. They did the first one was Rockstar In Excess, and then the second season,
TV show.
They made up a band.
I love that shit.
too.
Yeah, they made up a band called Supernova, and it was Tommy Lee was the drummer. So I was going to all the tapings, and I got to know Tommy pretty well, and I hung out with him, and this is when he was drinking a lot. And one night at one of the after parties, and this is in my first book actually, I was drunk and he was drunk, and I just had to bring it up, and I said, "Hey man, what's it like?" No, this is what I said to him. I go, "What's it like having a dick that big? What's it like?" And I'm not kidding you. Looked at me, didn't miss a beat, and he goes, "It hurts when I jog."
Wow. That's good.
Yeah.
It hurts when I jog.
Which is the name of his autobiography.
Because that snake, you've seen it, right? We've all seen the video. Jesus.
Yeah.
Pull it up.
Pull it up. That snake video.
We've had enough snake videos.
Can I threw this out yesterday. I was doing a TV show, just kind of popped out, but you're talking about made up bands. I don't think anyone has this for a band name, but I threw it out. Everyone thought it was strong. The Ass Kissers.
Great merch.
Yeah.
Great merch.
What show were you on where they thought that was a good idea?
Oh, you're right.
Shark Tank.
Game show.
Yeah. My favorite band name you've ever came up with was Mitt Romney and the One Percenters.
I would watch them play. Guys wearing cardigans.
One hit
Heron
wonders.
plays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but there's research showing that sperm count and testosterone levels are falling, but our dicks are getting bigger.
All right.
There you go.
Good news, bad
Congratulations.
news.
Wait, why are the sperm counts falling?
Too much plastic, too
yeah.
much environmental shit, and lifestyle shit. Everyone's getting fatter and everyone's getting pussy whipped, and now we're all.
What
just
is
like,
all the
fuck it.
jerking off? Because the porn is a lot more readily available than it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That has to have something to do with it.
Well, I can't answer that, but I can say that I was talking to Dr. Drew the other day, and he said a few things that always stuck in my head throughout the years. 25 years ago, he said, when you put a man in a position of power, their testosterone levels raise, right? So when you make the guy the boss and you give him the corner office, testosterone goes up. Now, everyone who's the boss is trying to downplay it all the time. Like the boss is wearing the board shorts and the flip flops. Hey, I'm just one of you. I'm one of you guys. I got nothing. Don't come after me. I'm not driving around in a Rolls Royce. I'm not smoking a cigar. So I wonder if all the dudes kind of tamping down that big boss energy.
We're all tucking.
It's got to have something. Yeah, we're all tucking. That's got to have something to do with it.
It's also that we keep our phones right there. That's gotta be
that
it.
could be it too. Yeah,
that could be it.
Yeah.
That could be it.
All right, what else, Max Pan?
All right. Well, there's a new docu-series coming out about Jared Fogle catching a monster. So yeah, I mean, look, all these things coming out with everyone's just so into true crime and all the past, like all the murder stuff. But now, why stop there, right? Let's hear Jared's story. And
is it from his perspective?
Well, it's going to be I think it's just a documentary on him. I don't think it's going to be like
I'll tell you, we should have known at the very beginning. Remember the very beginning of the campaign for Subway? He would hold up a giant pair of pants.
Yeah.
And he'd hold it up and he'd go, you know how many 7-year-olds I can get into these?
Oh, my God. He didn't say that.
He treated it like the parachute
He was
game
like,
in school.
yeah.
No.
I can get 11 7-year-olds into these.
Or as I call them,
That's what I
6
heard.
inchers.
No.
Yeah, that's right, 6 inchers. Well, though 24% larger than your grandfather's 6 inches.
Yeah.
All right.
They're getting bigger.
Can we? I swear to you, in this country, here's the reason why we can't do anything. We can't do anything because all the assholes that never shut up about climate change just fly private jet to Davos. Like we're just like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like the biggest climate change people in the world are all flying with Jeffrey, what's his name? Epstein on his private fucking to the island to fuck. You know, it's like we can't keep it. We can't do a boycott. We can't boycott Chick-fil-A. The line goes around the block. Like, we can't do anything. Yeah. We can't execute anything. I'll bet you if you looked at a graph of Subway, how many locations, market, let's say like market share and whatever, I guarantee when we found out about Jared from Subway, that was 9 years ago, 11 years
2015.
ago. Oh, so it's 2015. All right, 8 years ago. I'll bet you there's 200%, 250% growth in Subway. Like it looked like a hockey stick from the time. We didn't do anything to Subway.
Yeah.
We're like, we're doubling down on the hoagies. We're going to open.
Jared did what? I haven't had a foot long.
Yeah, that reminded us to eat at Subway. The Subway's much bigger now than it was 8 years ago.
And they're 25% bigger, I heard. No, it's 29%. But it's funny because he's always Jared from Subway.
I know.
So even like in this video, they're connecting him with it.
Ooh, that'd be a good band name.
Jared from Subway.
I'd watch that punk ad.
That's a great band name.
Actually,
Jared
when he was doing these ads, me and my friends would always try to think of cool band names, and the best one going for a long time was Fat Jared.
Yeah.
It's good.
Speaking of pedophilia,
That's a double album.
Speaking of pedophilia,
Oh God.
I'm not going to do it, but I do my show live sometimes, and Chris was at a show we did live in Venice, a live version of what we're drinking, and I did a little bit of stand-up, and you guys actually do stand-up, but I tried my hand at stand-up, and the crowd here was stacked with a lot of my friends, and so I did a little pedophilia routine, which I thought went
It was
over,
going great
it
right
went
before
over,
that, man.
Went over pretty well, but it went over okay
Yeah.
in Venice. I discovered the meaning of bombing shortly thereafter, just in January. Beginning of January, I did my show at the Stand Comedy Club in New York.
Oh, yeah.
One of the comedians on the bill with me was, do you know Christina Hutchinson? So she's got a lot of her fans are young.
Yeah, she's been on the
Gen
show.
Z. She's been on your show. Gen Z women, and they're all out. Show's packed. And we are trying to one-up each. Colin Terrell was on, Joe DeRosa. We're trying to one-up each other on bad jokes. And so I, once again, bust out the pedophile. I'll tell you the very first one, and this is it. But I mean, I cannot tell you how badly this went over. I said pedophilia is terrible, and I get it. Like nobody wants it. A world without pedophilia would be a better world. We can, get rid of it. We would. But I get it. Because your dick must look so big. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And then I say that, and I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
And this woman yells, "Oh, for Christ's sakes!" Right?
What is happening?
And so then I went,
Looks
right?
24%
And so
bigger.
I started turning red. and I didn't know what else to do, so I just kept going. And I said, my girlfriend Jenny said, "Don't do the pedophilia joke. Don't do the pedophilia joke. You're going to lose the crowd." And I was like, "What the fuck do you know, Jenny? You're only 12." Right? and then
That's funny.
And then I went, and then now
is this Whiskey X, Jenny, or the other?
People are literally getting up, and then I went, guys, for Christ's sakes, I'm just kidding. I'm not dating Jenny. In fact, I have an actual girlfriend, a real girlfriend. Her name's Susan. She's smart, funny, hot, not John Benet Ramsey hot, but hot, right? And
It's
that
like
was
you
the one
have
that did. No.
Tourette's.
And I had a guy come up to me after the show by himself and said his girlfriend left because he was a friend of a friend. He was laughing, and she said, "You think that's funny?" And he was like, "It was pretty funny." And she broke up with him and left the show.
Wow.
But by the way, that was the end of my stand-up career. I'm never doing it again.
And their relationship.
I
Yeah,
think
you broke
still
up a
got
couple.
Good thing I didn't
got
just do it on a
potential.
major podcast with hundreds of thousands of people listening to me.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm done.
Yeah.
All right, let's bring it home. Let's go out on the high note.
Yeah, I
of
think so.
pedophilia.
By the way, I didn't
Jared.
mean any of the petty. I don't mean it.
I know.
I don't like Justin from
We
Subway.
love you.
I don't like him. Jared. What's his
Jared.
name?
You
Jared?
pretend to not know his name.
I love it.
Yeah, who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. West Palm Beach Improv tonight. That'll be me doing stand-up. It may be sold out, but it may not be. I don't know. Maybe a couple of tickets left. We'll see if we can find any vomit from Garagos in the green room. Baltimore, Magooby's Joke House. That'll be Friday and Saturday. And early shows are sold out. I don't know if there's still some for the late, maybe a few. Jonathan Kite. Kite Club's the name of the pod. You listen to it wherever you listen to finer podcasts. And you should go to Jonathan Kite Comedy for all the live events. Dan Dunn. What we're drinking with Dan Dunn. Coming up with Sammy Hagar, the Red Rocker. And until next time, Sam Kroll for Dan Dunn and Jonathan Kite and Chris Max Pata saying mahalo.